I just checked the salt level of the water and it was near zero. So what we're going to do is add about 3 teaspoons of salt in there just to aid the fish's immune system. And increased salt right now is a very good idea because salt is going to help to detoxify nitrite and going to aid the immune system of the fish. So I want to keep the salt on the higher side at the moment, not the lower side. I just used this gravel cleaner to remove water from the aquarium. I never want to remove more than half. In winter, I'd rather do more like a quarter or a third. And the fish never need to come out of the aquarium. Now I've done a gravel clean and the gravel was pretty clean, which is what I'd expect because it's a pretty clean new tank. So white bucket, not too dirty. So right now, that's no problem. But over time, if you get lots of crap in your gravel, you want to be using the gravel cleaner more often to get the crap out of the gravel. And the quality of the food you feed is the biggest thing. If you use this stuff, you'll find your gravel and your filter just tends to stay very clean. Food quality and water quality is everything. So if we see lots of crap in the gravel, that means do more water changes using a gravel cleaner. So I've just tipped out the dirty water. I've added some nice clean water. I've put some prime into the water. We've put plenty of salt in because we want to raise the salt level at the moment. I haven't added any KH because our KH level's okay. And then we did add some stability for some extra good bacteria. The filter's all cleaned out and now we're ready to put it back together. I'm a big fan of putting in the rocks a little bit differently every time that you do the tank again. I've also spied that we've got one of those, this is a mute air pump. This little thing here. These things are fabulous. They literally don't make any sound at all. And for a small aquarium like this, to get us a nice stream of bubbles with zero vibrating is actually amazing. So these normally air pumps are much bigger than that. And they normally have a diaphragm in them and they make a sound that goes whereas the mute one, you literally could put your ear against that and you do not hear it at all. So if you do have a small aquarium, those Japanese mutes are fabulous air pumps if you need about that much air. If you have a big tank and you need a lot of air, then you need more than a mute. But for these little tanks, the mutes are fabulous because I can't hear it at all. Now, the other thing I've done is set up their filter so the surface is agitating very good when the water's coming out of the filter. So that's going to raise our oxygen level. So for now, considering that there is some ammonia and nitrite in the water, I'm going to recommend that some marine pure balls get added. I'm going to recommend that we hardly feed right now. Normally, I want to feed the fish what they eat in 30 seconds, about 5 times a week. So that's not every day. But for now, I'm actually going to request that the fish hardly get fed. I want the fish, I want to see that ammonia and nitrite come down. So for the next week or two, if we can do regular small water changes and we can not feed too much and we can add a squirt of this in every couple of days, then that's going to detoxify the ammonia and nitrite. And now we're just waiting for the good bacteria to grow. Because once the good bacteria is grown, the ammonia and nitrite will get broken down by the filter, so we don't have to worry about the ammonia and nitrite anymore. Ammonia and nitrite is a new tank problem. Nitrate is an old tank problem. So if you come into the shop and get your water tested, then we'll tell you what the nitrate and phosphate is. If your nitrate and phosphate's coming up, that means you probably should be doing more water changes. If your ammonia and nitrite's up, that means you need to be feeding less, potentially having less fish, but even considering a bigger, better filter. So what we've also done is we've added some polyfilter in. I've just snuck it in on the side of that filter. And the polyfilter over months and months is going to turn black, and then we chuck it out and put a new piece in. So we've done quite a lot to improve the water quality today, including a water change. And in reality, these fish are looking very good. This is what happy fish look like. One of the things we want to be aware of is if they start breathing heavily, and that can be a sign of stress. And the other thing is this aquarium has had a little bit of issue with aggression. So the aggression can be explained by a few different ways. One is that your fish just might be an asshole. The world's full of assholes, and so does sometimes your aquarium. It also can be a breeding behavior, particularly if they're mouthing each other's anal area. Then that can be a breeding behavior. And then it can also be stress. if the animal's stressed, they tend to be more aggressive. And then also, I have found instances, which this is not the case, where if your KH level gets to 0, the fish can try to eat each other's fins and scales. So that is not what's going on here. And the aggressive fish in this case has been swapped out. So sometimes getting rid of Hitler is the best thing to do. Because just like people, not everyone gets along, and some people are assholes. So if you just get rid of the ones that are the problem, then sometimes that's the easiest thing to do. And sometimes the worst thing to do is leave your aggressive fish in there, because sometimes that teaches the other fish that they need to be aggressive to survive, and you create a bad culture. So you can't actually control your fish, but you sort of do have control over them. And if they're not playing well together, my advice is come down and see us with a sample of water and a video, and we can advise you on what to do next. But in the meantime, we've got some nice healthy fish, and what we need to be aware of is these nice, healthy, happy fish have got an immune system. And the water quality and nutrients are what is going to affect the immune system. And the reason why I keep saying over and over that fish keeping is 50% water quality and 50% food quality is because in my job, I go from house to house, and it's very common that I come across a situation like this where the water quality is actually not good, but the fish are good. But we have to be aware that over months, that immune system is going to slowly go down and down and down. And it's the water quality that can make it go down if the water quality is not good. And it's the quality of the nutrients that makes the water quality go back up. So if you have really good high quality food, something like Danichi, which is a slow cooked holistic food, or Spectrum's probiotics, which is a cold extruded food, if you get nutrients into the fish, then their ability to handle bad water quality is very good. Whereas if you have cheaper food, then the immune system of the fish will be more compromised, and the fish will not handle bad water quality. So I'll go to one person's house and look at the fish, and they look great. I'll test the water, and the water might be terrible. And then if they've got good quality food, that would explain why the fish are looking good. Or if the fish are still relatively new, because deterioration takes time. But then I can go to the very next house and I can test the water, and it can be much better than the last house, but all the fish are dying, and that's because the food quality is lower. What we don't want is pressure cooked, processed crap food. We want high quality, holistic, slow cooked or cold extruded foods, because we need to deliver nutrients to the fish in a way that the fish can use the nutrients, and we also need the food to actually be containing foods that are natural to a fish. They need to be aquatic foods, whereas most fish food doesn't even contain anything that a fish would eat in the wild. Whereas if you look at the ingredients of a high quality food, all of the ingredients will be things that fish naturally eat, actual aquatic foods, not just like fish meal and wheat and ash and all the other crap that they put in crap food. So the food that you select for your fish is 50% of fish keeping. Do not skimp on food. Get the best food. I am very biased to this one, and I'm very biased to Danichi Color. I think they're the best foods. Don't skimp on food, because that's half of your battle. We're very happy with this tank now. It's looking very good. We did reduce the amount of airline, and we've hidden the air stone now, so we can't see it at all. We just see the bubbles popping up out of nowhere. So this is in a very good position. Now, as far as the light's concerned, try to have the light on when you're enjoying the fish. But if you're out or if you're asleep or whatever, then turn the light off. And if you find you're getting too much algae, try to reduce the amount of time the light's on, because the algae growth will be completely related to your light. If you're getting a lot of light, you're going to get a lot of algae. Anyway, subscribe to this channel and stay tuned for more riveting videos like this.